32 years old, high stress, lower drive, lower energy levels, more body fat than normal, just an overall feeling of not being like I used to. These are just some of the negative experiences I was having coming out of this winter. And unlike previous winters where I've fallen off the wagon, this time it just didn't seem to be going away as quickly. Because of this, about a month ago, in an effort to try to get things back to normal and maybe even beyond, I decided to try some new things. One of those things being a natural herb known as Uricoma longifolia, better known as Tongkat Ali. And home slice, let me tell you, I wasn't even planning on making this video, but this may have just been that natural secret I have been missing out on for so long, or there might be some negative effects. That's what I'm gonna go over in this video. My 30-day experience with Tongkat Ali. But you gotta focus. So before we dive into what I experienced, let's go over what Tongkat Ali is. Tongkat Ali is a natural herb that is native to Southeast Asia. It goes by the herbology name of Uricoma longifolia. In summary, it has been used for centuries to improve male fertility, reduce stress, improve energy and mood, and improve body composition. Now, there is a variety of active plant compounds in this herb, but overall, Tongkat Ali is said to give these benefits through a few specific mechanisms. First of all, the active compounds in Tongkat Ali is said to activate hormone-inducing actions within the body, specifically LH or luteinizing hormone. And if Tongkat Ali therefore does ramp up LH, this then can stimulate the testes to produce more testosterone in males. So kind of like every natural herbal test booster out there for that matter. But hey, maybe this actually works. But is it enough to notice? We'll get to that. Another mechanism in Tongkat Ali is said to help decrease SHBG or sex hormone binding globulin. Essentially, having a high level of SHBG is said to be associated with infertility, decreased sex drive, ED, lower energy, depression, reduced muscular mass, basically having less free testosterone because this is basically binding up all the free testosterone. So Tongkat Ali therefore decreases this, therefore in theory it's freeing up more free testosterone, allowing you to get the benefits of more free testosterone. Does it work? I don't know, we'll get to that. Another mechanism Tongkat Ali is said to give benefits to the user is a reduction in cortisol. And man, if you haven't heard about cortisol before, this has been, blabbered here and blabbered there, but essentially cortisol is the stress hormone, and too much cortisol can have negative effects on muscle mass and also negative effects on mood, etc., etc. I mean, cortisol is necessary, but when you have high amounts, you can get the symptoms of being overstressed. So therefore, if Tongkat Ali helps reduce cortisol, this could potentially lead to more energy, a better mood, improved libido, stronger muscles even, reduced body fat, increased immune health, all through reduction of this stress. So does it actually do that? Potentially based on the studies, and did it actually do that for me? Potentially, we'll get to that in just a second. Now, because of all of this, what about Tongkat Ali's effect on DHT levels as well as estrogen? Well, based on my research, I didn't really find anything too conclusive on DHT and Tongkat Ali, but I did find a few sources citing that there was no effect on DHT, and then some sources saying that it actually can inhibit DHT. For those of you who don't know, DHT is essentially, it's a very powerful form of testosterone. I believe it's very androgenic, really increasing those like male qualities. And while you might think, oh, that is absolutely great, and it can be great for people with low DHT, if your DHT is too high, it can be associated with side effects such as an enlarged prostate or hair loss, which is why a lot of people using anabolics will notice a decrease in hair quicker than they would be if they weren't using anabolics. That is, if they are prone to male pattern baldness just by genetics. So kind of finding mostly in conclusion that Tongkat Ali most likely doesn't affect DHT. If it does, then it's decreasing DHT. I was cool with this. Also, when it comes to Tongkat Ali and estrogen, I did find one study showing it actually increased estrogen 30% throughout the sample, but I also found a bunch of other sources saying that regardless of increasing or decreasing estradiol, it seemed like Tongkat Ali actually acted like an estrogen receptor modulator, which from my knowledge means it helps reduce the impact of too much estrogen in the body. See, now that's kind of the problem with there being so many studies on certain topics. You get some studies that say this, some studies that say that, some are in the middle, So ultimately, bros, we had to try this out for ourselves, and that's exactly what we did. And now I'm gonna share with you my experience with Tongkat Ali. So first of all, I'm gonna tell you the kind of Tongkat Ali I took. It's important when there's like so many Tongkat Ali supplements out there and there's like compounds and all this stuff. So first of all, I didn't wanna mess with any compounds, you know, like any blends of ingredients, no proprietary blends. I just wanted the single herb, okay? And I also wanted a whole root extract, all right? Now, based on the research I did, I actually found that the Tongkat Ali by this company known as Solar Ray, which is just like, you go into the grocery store and you see all those herbs, you know, there's like a bunch of herbs and it's just like, they kind of look cheap, but I think they kind of redid their packaging recently and it looks a lot better, but you know, I'm talking like beforehand. Yes, Solar Ray, that company, that's the brand I took. It's approximately a 400 milligram dose of Tongkat Ali whole root extract. One downside is it didn't really say the percentages of the active compounds that were extracted. It just said 400 milligrams. But a very good plus side is, well, I am taking to trust them that they actually are lab tested, but it says they are lab tested for purity. And that is actually a problem, is some certain Tongkat Ali extracts have been found to have unsafe levels of mercury in them. But with this supplement from Solar Ray being lab tested, I assume that they checked for heavy metal, as well as you're just getting what you're getting. You're getting the dose you're getting, or at least as accurate as possible of the dose you're getting, rather than something that hasn't been tested and it's like, am I even getting Tongkat, or is this like something completely different? You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like it was the purest form you could get, simple, straight to the point, and it was cheap. It was only about $10 for 60 pills. So my protocol for taking this was 1 pill a day, 400 milligrams. I would take it with my first meal, whether that was having a small breakfast or if I was intermittent fasting the day, it would be with my first meal I would have later on in the day. Just one a day, 400 milligrams, 6 days a week, and then I would take 1 day off at the end of the week and repeat that until now. So I want to say, after taking my first dose of this, within about 3 hours after taking it, I felt like I did notice an energy increase, but that could have just been placebo, or maybe I had more coffee. You know, I really don't know for certain. However, within about 5 days, I started to notice things getting significantly better to where I could say, I think something's a little bit better here than it used to be. That feeling of just like not feeling like myself, not being as just energetic and cognitive as I used to be, seemed to just be fading away. In fact, I started to feel more cognitive. This is interesting because a lot of the times these herbal extracts that are supposed to help increase testosterone, a lot of the results are like, oh, did I put on more muscle or not? But for me, the first thing I really started to notice was like an increased state of well-being and this like stable energy and focus that was just coming back to me that I had once before, but I felt like I lost. I feel like that was like coming back to me. On top of that, I feel like my verbal communication was also enhanced. When I was having conversations with my peers, it seemed like I was able to hold more steady sentences and get across the points I was trying to get across. Not to say I'm all of a sudden a savant who's just like, it just felt like I was able to have more of a clear conversation with, you know, my friends, my wife, my relatives, both being able to express the points I'm trying to get across, as well as listen and interpret what was being said back to me. It felt like there was an enhance in this. So that is like the first big thing I noticed after taking Tongkat Ali for about 5 days, that I could say was most likely due to taking this herbal supplement, or at least it helped in some aspect. Now, very exciting when it comes to exercise performance, strength, etc. At about day 7 to 14, I started to notice my energy levels actually increasing, actually getting back to where I felt, I would say probably at my prime, which was unfortunately probably like 2018 or 2019. Ever since then, I started to feel like I wasn't able to hold such a high intensity for so long. And you know, before taking Tongkat Ali after 2018, 2019, I felt like I could still go intensely, but like not as long as I used to. From about weeks 1 to week 2 after taking Tongkat Ali, I started to notice that I could hold this intensity level longer and start to have longer workouts with more energy throughout my workouts. On top of that, my overall energy was increased, but not like you would get an increase from caffeine where it would just be like a jittery increase. It felt like a very stable baseline increase, like the base of my energy was lifted up and increased. Now this is super awesome because all of these things combined together, I started to notice by weeks 3, I was looking leaner and more muscular. Finally started to notice that this like kind of stubborn, almost perma-fat that came about over these last couple of months that I was just kind of like having trouble at getting rid of, right? It seemed to just like almost effortlessly go away. Now I'm not gonna say Tongkat Ali magically burns fat, but what I'm concluding is happening here is because I'm having more energy, I'm feeling stronger, more intense, more positive all around, I'm moving more, I'm exercising more, and still eating a similar amount of calories, therefore I'm having a higher net calorie deficit, leading to more fat loss and a better body composition. So it's not rocket science, nothing magic's going on except for that increased energy level, that stability, increased energy level that's helping me do more for a longer period of time, therefore burning more calories, and if I'm eating the same amount, I'm gonna be burning more fat. And that's literally what I could see happening by weeks 3, just taking this simple herb. Now, one more thing that's actually kind of a scary benefit, I'm just gonna say scary benefit, that came from taking Tongkat Ali is I noticed that I'm actually feeling a lot less sore more often, and almost to a point where I haven't been beforehand. So that's actually kind of crazy because beforehand, you know, I would work out super intensely, but then I'd have periods of being extremely sore, right? All of a sudden, a couple weeks in after taking Tongkat Ali, I'm way less sore, have way more energy, I'm feeling better all around, more cognitive, more focused, more dialed in. I'm experiencing some good results here, guys. That's what I'm trying to say, and I feel like it's due to the Tongkat Ali. At least that's what I feel. It could be due to some other things working synergistically or all in all as well. I'll get to that in just a second. Stay tuned, all right? Gotta tell you the whole story, guys. Gotta tell you the whole story. But first, before we move on to my ultimate conclusion, let's get into the bad side effects. So bring it in. Some reported side effects of Tongkat Ali could be insomnia, irritability, restlessness, interactions with other medications and herbs, as well as also just being allergic to Tongkat Ali, therefore you'd have an allergic reaction. So did I experience any of these negative side effects? No. In fact, regarding insomnia, I actually feel like my sleep has been better over this last month. But there is one side effect that I actually did get, and I actually do think it is the fault of Tongkat Ali. Holy moly, about 2 weeks in, check this out, this pimple. So I do not normally get pimples, and after taking Tongkat Ali for about 2 weeks, boom, this bad boy pops up right there. Now, on top of that, it does feel like my skin actually may be a little bit more oily, you know, if it goes unwashed for a longer period of time than it used to be. But ever since that pimple went away, I haven't had a single pimple pop up that hasn't been warranted, and I'm still taking the exact amount of Tongkat Ali to this day. So I don't know what happened. Maybe one popped up and then all of a sudden things kind of adjusted, and yeah, or maybe it was just a coincidence, or maybe my skin is actually oilier now and I'm just doing a better job with my hygiene. So yeah, that was the one thing I experienced, was that pimple. I don't know for certain if it's due to the Tongkat Ali, but just like based on the pattern before, I just normally don't get pimples. I'm gonna say most likely it could be due at least a little bit to that. Now, going back to all the positive things I just mentioned, it might seem like, holy moly, dude, Tongkat Ali is like the miracle. It's working out so well for you. Like, dang, bro. Congratulations for finally finding the secret. However, there are a few other things I've been doing over the past month that may play a role in me feeling better, or might be working with Tongkat Ali synergistically to overall boost everything up. And I'm gonna share those with you right now. Something I've been doing on a daily basis, 5 days a week, so I take about 2 days off a week, is 20 minutes of red light therapy. So if you haven't seen the video, I bought one of those red lights. I tried to get a clinical grade one, and I've been standing in front of it for approximately 20 minutes, 5 minutes a quadrant of the body. So I try to do like upper, lower portions of the torso, the body. And I swear that is doing something subtly incredible. Like, I literally feel like I'm getting some significant improvements from that when it comes to overall energy, skin health, except for that pimple. Like, feeling good, feeling like it's actually potentially like healing some injuries and other things like that. And just like an overall feeling of well-being. And some of those benefits are kind of lining up with the Tongkat Ali potential benefits. And because I'm overlapping these self-experiments together, it's kind of hard to say you know, if one's just because of one thing, or if it's a combination of both, or it's because of the other, you know what I'm saying? So another thing that could also be helping me feel so much better recently is when I started taking Tongkat, I was doing some research on different ways to help optimize a healthy hormone production, you know, in like the male physique, the male body. And I kind of just through self-analysis realized that I wasn't taking in that much saturated fat dietarily. So I started to increase the amount of saturated fat I've been taking on a daily basis. Not a whole lot, just a little bit, okay? I'm not like butter, just a little bit of added saturated fat that is natural and wholesome. And maybe that increase in saturated fat could also be playing a role in just balancing my hormones out, making me feel better overall. I'm not too certain. All in all though, it's like I'm trying to center myself and really look inside and see what's working for myself. And I feel like through analysis, it seems like the Tongkat Ali is making a significant difference for me, with everything else being included as well. It might be different for everybody else. Remember, if you're gonna hop on any supplements, even these natural herbal supplements, you know, you always wanna consult your physician. Don't just take the advice from a lay personnel like myself. You wanna talk to your doctor, obviously. It would be a good idea to get blood work to know you're not messing around with anything. So what is my plan going forward? Well, according to the sources, Tongkat Ali taking on a daily basis has been shown to be safe from about 200 to 400 milligrams. I think that's according to just like, what is it, like healthline.net. So yeah, the way I see it is I'm actually gonna continue to take this on a daily basis, 6 days a week at the 400 milligram dose that comes in the solar ray caps. I feel like it's just like a good quality, simple product. Now, what about cycling off? I'm considering 2 ideas. So I might go 3 months and then take a month off, and then 3 months, take a month off. Or I might just take it off like I do every single year. I usually have 1 to 2 months where I just stop taking all supplements. So that is my experience taking Tongkat Ali for 30 days. Just gonna throw in a side note, I think that doesn't forfeit my lifetime natty status. It's a natural herb, and also something to note is it is not banned in any sports, at least according to the sources that I looked at. It's not banned by WADA or whatever. So finding something that I feel like is actually working, that is still natural, that will still allow me to have my natty status is am I even a fitness YouTuber? What am I, guys? Who is this? Who am I? Something that I feel like actually works, that is natural. Oof, gotta love it. So I'm gonna continue taking this. If you guys have any recommendations, let me know. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this. Remember, this is just my experience. Everyone is different. Always consult your physician before you start taking any supplements. If you're interested in my bodyweight training program, Bodyweight Beast 2.0, go to onlykindsfitness.com. Tons of great feedback on that. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you all have a great day. Peace. I will see you all in the next video.